After several weeks of kind of the same old, looks like you have something kind of brewing in the tropics that you really need to keep your eye on right now.
A couple of people are talking about it too. Wondering
Yeah,
what's going to happen.
Right, and again, like I said at the beginning of the newscast, no need to worry right now. We're not concerned about it, but it's one of those things we're going to have to pay close attention. You got to be prepared, of course, and this is kind of getting into the meat of the hurricane season now, last couple of weeks of August and the first couple of weeks of September. So anytime you get one of these waves coming off the African coast, traveling across the Atlantic, you got to pay attention to them, and that's what we're doing right now. But no need to panic now. Of course, if anything changes with it, we'll certainly be the first to let you know. But heat and humidity is what we have to deal with here for this weekend. So that's going to be our first concern. 80 right now in Mobile, 82 Pensacola. It still feels like the mid-90s across the Mississippi Gulf Coast here across the area. But again, very sticky outside. And it looks like the same thing here for tomorrow morning. Temperatures into the 70s by noon, up to 90, and we're expected to be in the middle 90s for tomorrow afternoon. With the humidity, it will feel like close to 105 here for tomorrow in some spots. And by the end of the week, we're looking at heat indices approaching 110 across parts of the area. High pressure building into the upper atmosphere. This weather pattern that we usually see in the summertime just never really materialized so far this summer. Now, here we are late in the latter part of August, and it's finally starting to show its head here. We're expecting this pattern to kind of stick around with us through the end of the week, the weekend, the first part of next week, and that's where we expect the hottest temperatures across the area. Again, mid to upper 90s for our inland counties, and it will feel like well over 100 degrees here each afternoon. Got to take precautions to make sure you keep yourself cool through the afternoon. There's Invest 96 right there, and last few satellite images here, you can see the last few frames. It looks like it is trying to get itself organized here as it moves towards the Lesser Antilles. The Hurricane Center is at least the Hurricane Hunters, I should say, is expected to go out in there tomorrow and investigate the system, so we'll have a little better idea of what it's doing once we get the airplane in there. But as you can see, the computer model forecast tracks continue to take on a west and northwest direction. Notice they're kind of all over the place. This is going to change quite a bit. And usually with these computer models, until the low-level center gets organized here and the models really have something to go on, they're relatively unreliable. So this kind of gives you a general idea of what we're expecting here, but this is going to change once we get some data in those computer models, and we'll start to get a little better idea of what's going on. Those were the tropical models. These are the GFS ensemble plots, the ensemble members, if you will. And notice how huge the spread is here, going from a recurve out in the Atlantic to the Gulf of Mexico. So again, there's a large amount of uncertainty as to exactly what this thing's going to do. So this is one of those things we have to take day by day and evaluate it. And of course, we're going to give you the latest here as we go into the weekend. We should get a little better idea of what's going to happen with it here, especially by this weekend and certainly by early next week. In the meantime, the heat and humidity is going to be the problem. Here's your 7-day forecast. We hit 93 today in Mobile. I'm going 94 tomorrow, and then a pair of 96s there. Now keep in mind, farther inland, 100 degrees without the heat index is very likely, especially here for Friday and Saturday. I think those will be the hottest days, even lasting into Sunday. Heat index, though, will approach 110 in some spots. And it looks like the heat does back off a little bit by the middle of the end of next week with some better storm chances.
I'm looking at that 7-day. You think it's going to be raining fire and brimstone?
I'm trying to emphasize it's going to be hot. I think that pretty much says it right there.
Chance of locust on Thursday.
Fire and brimstone.
That's right. Thank you, Derek.